All right, we're live. It's the Android Headline Show. This is episode 49. We are broadcasting Tuesday, March 4th. I'm joined tonight. My name's Jeremiah. I'm joined tonight by Nick and Alex from the site. You guys want to say what's up?
What's up?
Good evening.
Good evening. So we've got a ton of stuff to get to. It's been a busy week, kind of wrapping up Mobile World Congress and some rumors, leaks. The HTC One M8 leaked all over the internet in a 12-minute video. We'll get into that. Kind of excited to talk about that just because it was a crazy situation.
Good drama.
Absolutely. So before we get into the agenda a little bit, let's talk. Was there anything at the end of MWC that you guys wanted to talk about? Because the show last week was Monday and Tuesday of Mobile World Congress, which was Sony, Samsung, and a bunch of other stuff that was going on there. But the last 2 days, I didn't really see a whole lot. Was there anything that we missed you guys want to talk about?
I don't think there really was anything after that.
Yeah. I'm looking at our MWC section now just to make sure I didn't forget anything.
I don't think there was.
Peter Chow was almost late to his keynote, and the biker saved him. But other than that,
yeah, that was pretty crazy. But yeah, I didn't think there was a whole lot. Usually the last 2 days, or definitely the last day, but this year the last 2 days there wasn't a whole lot going on.
well, there is some stuff from Motorola. I mean, not like new products or anything, but they're basically saying the Moto X is coming to, I think, Asia and India next month. Moto Maker's coming to Europe and Mexico, I think, second quarter. New Moto X in summer. They're also doing a smartwatch this year. I think that was about it.
Okay, cool. Yep. I remember seeing that announcement too, but there wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah, they just did like a Q&A, but they wouldn't really say anything about Lenovo other than that they're going to help them out. They're going to help each other, basically.
Yeah. And it's going to take them a little while to kind of get that transition completed. So, cool. Well, that's that. That's Mobile World Congress. And then I also wanted to go over the Android distribution numbers because those came out today for the month of February. Google's pretty good about releasing those, right at the beginning of the month for the previous month. So actually, Nick, you were pretty excited about this, man. I'll let you take this one. You get it pulled up?
Yeah, I got it pulled up. I don't know. I always like seeing this. The more gingerbread dies, the happier I get. So it's down to 19%, which I think is only 1% less than last month. So that's a little depressing, I guess. And I want to see it go quicker, but we're probably gonna have to wait for the S5 and the new One and all that stuff to come out before we really see those numbers start dropping again. So I think the last time we saw a pretty significant drop was around November, when everybody started doing their upgrades, for Christmas time or whatever. I don't know, just seeing Jelly Bean at, 62% is great.
Yep, all total. Which means that outside of, basically, Android 4.1 and up is almost at 70%.
Yeah. That's a really, really good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even then, Ice Cream Sandwich is still 15%, so we're talking, the vast, vast majority of people are finally on 4.0 and up.
Yeah.
And gingerbread is still bigger than Ice Cream Sandwich.
Yes.
That's because gingerbread is on all those low-end devices that were sold last year that people don't really download many apps with.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And I don't know, those never ever get upgraded. So
nope.
That's the biggest problem. It's just getting those stupid things out of there.
So if you're not familiar with these numbers, what this is Google every month tracks the phones that have visited the Google Play Store. So these are not phones that are running Android that don't have access to the Play Store, stuff like the Amazon Kindle or a lot of these low-end smartphones and tablets that are released overseas or even here in the States. These are devices that have access the Google Play Store to browse or download an app or a game. And so we're seeing, just incremental improvement. KitKat jumped from 1.8% up to 2.5% of the devices that access the Play Store. Jelly Bean jumped from 60.7 to a flat 62%. But Gingerbread decreased. Ice Cream Sandwich actually decreased almost a whole percentage point as well, which is fine because those are rolling to Jelly Bean now.
Yep.
So that's always good. This means user experience is better. More people are accessing the Play Store from more updated devices.
Yeah, and that's less people that walk around saying Android sucks, is laggy and slow, and all the crap that we've heard forever from people that use these just garbage low-end devices that are out there.
Yep, and we're one step closer to developers being able to not support 2.3 anymore. Just go for it.
Yeah.
And a lot of devs already have, but...
Yeah, but they don't want to lose those 19%, or actually closer to 20 when you factor in Froyo.
Yep.
Yeah, to see Froyo still holding on is great.
That's what, 4 years? Almost 5 now for Froyo?
Yeah. My first Android phone was the first one that shipped with Froyo, and that was almost 4 years ago.
Yep.
Mine was Eclair, but I didn't have Gingerbread. I just went straight from Froyo to ACS.
Nice. That's a good jump.
Right.
Yeah.
We're almost there. We're almost there. Things are getting better.
Absolutely.
So right about the time that the Android 4.0 and up devices crack that 85 or 90%, it'll be I/O, and we'll have the next version released or announced at least. So, yep. But it's nice to see.
Continues the cycle.
Yeah, it's nice to see devices and OEMs catching up.
Yeah, because these numbers used to be really spread out for a while. You'd see, well, you still see Gingerbread with a big percentage, but even when it was like 2 years old, it was still like around 30, 40%.
And Google deliberately slowed that down.
Yeah, it's nice to see those bigger percentages on more up-to-date versions of Android, like Jelly Bean, which, I mean, it's really not that old. It was, what, I/O 2012 for 4.1?
Yeah.
So only about a year and a half now?
Yep,
exactly. So that's
Gingerbread
pretty significant progress.
4 years.
Yeah, Gingerbread was a leading platform for, I think, a full 3. Or at least near 3.
About it, like, all the OEMs have started pushing out KitKat already, and we're, what 4 months after KitKat?
Yep.
And it used to be a lot worse. I mean,
yeah, 6, 8, 9 months sometimes.
Here in the U.S., LG, Sony, Samsung, I think only on Sprint, though. Motorola's already finished theirs. All have pushed out KitKats and on the carriers, which is also a big feat.
Yeah, Google and the manufacturers are putting pressure on the carriers to get that stuff out more quickly.
Yep.
So good stuff. Good stuff. We did get a question pop up here. I want to acknowledge SG Hunk because he asked any way to watch a YouTube video on a smart TV while playing the audio from a phone. Kind of a generic question, SG Hunk, and I honestly I don't have a way to do that. Allcast and Chromecast and the Cheapcast, different apps that'll let you play a YouTube video on your smart TV are not going to let you play the audio on your phone. You can't split the audio and the video.
I don't think there is a way to do it.
Kind of a technical question. You might be able to find a workaround or write one yourself if you're a developer, if you know how to code, but not a way that we know of off the top of our head. So let's jump into some news here. Mercedes wants to put Android in their cars. So there's a report floating around that Apple is working on putting iOS in cars. We've seen Android in vehicles in the past, but this is a pretty high-end partnership with Mercedes to to build Android into their vehicles on a pretty it's a pretty big deal. So I don't personally own a Mercedes. I'd love to. We'll get there one day. But what do you guys think?
I don't. I mean, I saw the CarPlay thing this week. I thought it was really interesting. I can't really say that I saw it going that way, although I guess there has been a lot of integration with that stuff recently. I don't remember if it was Chevy or somebody that did some kind of Siri integration recently. I've been seeing commercials for it. So I suppose it's not too far-fetched to see that sort of thing. But what I thought was really interesting about it is it's not actually running iOS. It's sort of just I don't know if it's a mirrored version or exactly how it works. I don't know if you guys have read up on it much. I just kind of browsed through, the news about it and just whatever's going on. So
So it's
Google's
like AirPlay.
thing, yeah, exactly. I think Google's thing is less of that. It's more of just being able to show maps and things like that on there, right? It's not actually trying to run apps, or is it?
Uh,
I didn't take it as that, but again, I haven't read too far into this stuff because I don't really care.
It just says Google's bringing their own in-car infotainment system to the public markets, and Mercedes is looking at it. The statement from Mercedes says, as soon as Google brings its own in-car infotainment system to market, Mercedes-Benz customers will also be able to enjoy the world of Android in their cars. Mercedes-Benz has already shown to impressive effect how an Android-based in-car infotainment system would look with the SLS AMG in 2011, yada yada. So it's still kind of vague. It's just a commitment from Mercedes to look at Android in addition to CarPlay. They're kind of keeping their options open as things develop because it's still pretty early. Ford's got some pretty deep integration, but they're really the only ones that have jumped headfirst into mobile, having some kind of mobile platform or smartphone integration.
Yeah, and theirs is Microsoft, isn't it?
Yeah.
The sync thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's platform agnostic, though, isn't it?
It is, because it's over Bluetooth.
Yeah.
It's just based on Microsoft software. But yeah, pretty cool. So I'm excited. Google's already partnered with Honda and Hyundai. So I'm excited just to kind of see where that goes. There's a lot of things you can do currently with Tasker or other apps, but there's not a whole lot that's just built into vehicles already. Everything is just kind of outside of Ford and a couple other companies that are kind of playing with it. It's all generally third party to get like GPS or phone calls, voice navigation, that kind of thing over your car speakers.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff that I'm most interested in, and I just bought a cheap little Bluetooth, head unit to stick in my car for that, and it's great. And
there's a lot more they could be doing with it as far as like music or media partnerships.
Yeah.
A lot of people now have DVD players built into the headrest or drop down the ceiling for the back seat.
I don't want that stuff though. I'm like, I think I need to be shown why I want this. It's one of those things that I just don't see myself using. And I'm going to need to see something really cool to say, here, okay, this is it right here. This is why you want it.
I would love to have music. Because as it is right now, I take my phone in the car and plug it in to the auxiliary jack and play music off it. Whether it's local media, more and more I'm using Play Music All Access to stream. But if I had some kind of streaming service with built into the car, a lot of these cars now you can get satellite internet access. If that were a viable option, I wouldn't have to plug my phone up. I could just get in the car, push the all access icon on the touchscreen, and pull up all of the playlists that I've created, all the music that I've purchased or that I've added to my library, and just play it right there without having to have that extra cable. Just a little convenience, but it'd be cool. So I agree with you, Nick. Some of it is kind of where are they going to take it? Is it just going to be navigation? And because when you talk about like most of these, the internet built into a vehicle, you're looking at an additional service for an additional like monthly plan. Basically, it's got a MiFi built into it, and it's streaming over your wireless carrier. And then you're looking at data caps,
Yeah, because
having to pay extra money, and
Chevy announced the thing with AT&T at CES for having LTE in there. I think it's 2014 or 2015. Malibu and Impala and a couple other of their cars. And basically, AT&T said you can add it to your account. They didn't say how much, like, the monthly fee would be. Like tablets are what, $15, I think, along with your data pool. I'm guessing it'll probably be about the same, because it's not like they're selling you the car like they are the tablet.
Yeah.
Although the tablet really isn't. They're not really selling you that.
But if I'm streaming music or movies to my car, I'm using way more data than I would even on my tablet.
Yeah.
Just because I'm in the car more, and I'm always listening to music when I'm in the car. So.
Yep. Unless you pin it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and how many movies do you watch on your tablet over a mobile network?
0.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless, well,
it's an HD, forget it. You're going to use a couple gigs most likely.
Yep. Absolutely none. It's either streaming locally or stored locally on the device.
Yep.
But it's still pretty cool. Google Docs is getting a pretty big update too. This is something that makes a lot of sense. I kind of wonder why they didn't do it before now. But Google Docs is going to get updated to support voice dictation. The voice recognition built into our devices and now built into the Google search. From the Google homepage, you can just talk to do searches. That same functionality, Google feels it's now up to par to build it into Google Docs and use it for. You can use it for long form dictation. Talk a whole book and then just go back and edit it if you wanted to. So really cool for like Word documents and stuff. If you need to put something on paper or on the screen. I'm pretty excited about this. There's quite a bit of writing that I do, for AAH. I do some music reviews as well, and it'd be really convenient just to kind of put those thoughts into a Word document, and then go back and edit them into something that reads a little bit better. But it's just easy if it's hands-free.
Yeah, and if it's using the same tech as Google now does, it'll be pretty good, because I know I've been really impressed anytime I talk to it how good of a job it does.
Yeah. And just imagine it like with the Moto X with touchless control.
Yep.
You can just tell it open up a new doc and just start typing in what you say. I could write a whole article just without even touching my keyboard.
Exactly.
Yep.
Just copy and paste into WordPress and publish.
Yep. So it's pretty cool. Definitely excited about this update. I don't see an exact date on when it was coming. Did you guys see that? If it's available, like when it'll be available.
I don't think it says it in the article. It just says soon. And knowing Google, who the heck knows when they're going to roll out the update? They could do it tomorrow.
Right.
And they're probably dogfooding it to their people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So it'll be on its way shortly. So definitely excited about that guy. Not so excited about Verizon's new prepaid plans, just because I really could care less about them. Not because I'm against prepaid plans. I love prepaid plans. It's what I'm using with T-Mobile right now, and it's great. Just Verizon's prepaid plan is not, primarily because it's only 3G. You don't get access to any kind of LTE data speeds.
Yep.
And Verizon's 3G at this point, there was a time when it was decent, but that was several years ago. Now Verizon's 3G feels like dial-up. So
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Here it's actually slower than Sprint's 3G.
Verizon's got a lot more customers on their network, so that wouldn't be surprising.
Yep.
But there were times, maybe not all the time, but there were times that it was slower.
Yeah, that's when their LTE has like dropped a lot. It used to be really fast, like AT&T's now usually see speeds like around 10 to 15 down instead of like 60.
Yes, AT&T's and T-Mobile's in my area average like 20, around 20, maybe 22 megabits down.
Yeah.
Whereas Verizon's is like 10 or 12. And Verizon's used to be just as fast, but again, it's capacity issues. But these prepaid plans, it's called All Set. So you can either do $30 a month for a feature phone or $40 a month for a smartphone. And then you add on, that comes with unlimited calling and texting. You can add on data, $5 for 500 megabytes, $10 for a gigabyte, or $20 for 3 gigabytes. So with a smartphone, you can get a prepaid plan for $60 a month with 3 gigs of data. But again, it's only 3G.
Yeah,
Now,
with 3G, that'll probably last you quite a while.
And it's kind of cool. Your unused data does roll over, kind of like AT&T's rollover minutes.
Yeah, they got rid of that because they got unlimited now.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But with the Verizon All Set plans, these new prepaid plans, if you put basically that data is good until it's gone or until it expires. It'll roll over up to 90 days. So if you don't happen to use all 3 gigs, you've got it for a little bit longer than just a month.
Yeah, I've been waiting for some carriers to do this with their data caps, is rollover data. I was hoping it would be like postpaid, so you'd have LTE, but
Right.
hopefully it'll make its way into postpaid. I was expecting AT&T to do it since they did it with minutes first.
And Verizon's prepaid plans have been decent, but not great for a while. Like they've been kind of borderline.
Yeah.
So there's another one. Just kind of add to the deal. I'm looking. We got a couple of questions here. I'm just kind of looking through some stuff. Let's see. No, Delia's asking about Galaxy S3 stuck.
The power
reset
button on our S3.
Yeah, it's probably a hardware issue.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could think of, that happened on my sister-in-law's S3 where the power button fell off. And we tried to put it back on, and it was just wonky. So what I ended up doing was I rooted her phone because I couldn't figure out a better way to do this. And there's an app called GMD Gesture Control. I can put a link somewhere for it. But it's basically, you can set any kind of gestures on the phone. So I just made it when you basically, on the phone, you just swipe up on the top right, and it shuts the power off. And then you just use the home button to wake it up. It's kind of a crappy workaround, but, it is what it is.
But Delia, if you're not able to replace the device, maybe that's a viable option for you.
Yeah, because it's probably off contract or close to it by now.
Yeah.
Depending on when she got it.
Yeah, and I see there's some other gesture apps on the Play Store that don't seem to require root, but I don't know how functional they are without root. Like if you can power off the device.
Yeah. What was the name of that app again, Nick? Just so we know.
It's GMD Gesture Control. It's the developer's Good Mood Droid, so it's just the short for that.
Okay.
That guy's got a couple of interesting little root apps too, like that.
Well, that's good. That's good to know. At least it's could be a workaround.
Yeah, hopefully it's something.
And that's cool just for gesture controls.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, it's all system-wide stuff, but again, you gotta have root. So if you're not a root person, then sorry.
Right. So Nick, you wrote this up. Talk to us a little bit about Ring. Move on to some hardware news here, and so Ring's a gesture-based ring, wearable for your finger. Yep. Tell us how it works.
Basically, I don't know if you've seen, there's been a couple of other ones sort of like this on Kickstarter and a bunch of these other sites that are like that, where it kind of goes with the wearables trend where you have like a Bluetooth enabled thing. In this case, it's a ring that goes on your finger. And this one in particular is special because it's got some kind of gesture sensors in there, where you would hold the ring sort of like this. You just put your thumb on it. There's a little touchpad on it, and then you would just draw. So
Cool.
It's got software where you can make your own gestures to launch anything, apps, do things on your phone, whatever. You can actually text with it. It's got a built-in cursive alphabet, so you can just sit there and write in thin air. I don't know how well it works, but they said they've been testing it for a long time, and hopefully with it being Kickstarter, it gets some good backing, and the software probably progresses as well. But I mean, overall, it seems like a pretty solid product. I think the only thing that I don't like about it is it's not waterproof, which for something that's on your hand like that, I don't know if I'm crazy about that.
Right, so I'm okay with like taking it off to do the dishes or something, but if I happen to be out somewhere at like a restaurant or somewhere and I need to go in the back restroom and wash my hands, and if I don't have to take it off, that's better than if I do have to take it off. So
yeah, I mean, because it's $170 for the thing. I don't really want to put it in my pocket and then lose it. I mean, I guess that's probably cheaper than like your wedding ring or whatever. But I don't really take my wedding ring off, so
right, no, neither do I.
I'm not worried about that.
There are a ton of different like coatings that you can put on devices now. And I say a ton, there's probably a handful that I've heard about.
Sure.
Different clear coatings that can be sprayed on or can be fused, at a molecular level to repel water. And we've seen some devices incorporate this, so that would be something that I would suggest to these guys if they're looking to get this Kickstarter off the ground.
Yeah, I mean, maybe version 2 will have something like that. I don't know. It seems like a pretty cool device. It's just got 3 little LEDs on there, so it doesn't have the screen like a lot of the smartwatches and stuff have. I've even seen rings, like smart rings, that have a screen on them, and I don't know how useful that would be. Your finger's only so big.
Right. And I've also seen rings that have like NFC, and you can use them for unlocking the device or in tandem with another app like Tasker to build different commands and things. But there's a lot of there's either minimal functionality or a lot more work to get those kind of things up and running and to have a lot going on with them. So
yeah, and this thing seems like it has a lot more functionality than most of those other, like you said, the NFC rings and stuff do. But this thing does not have NFC. That's the only other thing that I noticed was like, okay.
Is it Bluetooth?
It's Bluetooth. Yeah, it's Bluetooth 4.
Okay.
And
which is not a big deal, but
yeah, I mean, it really isn't because, like you said, a lot of the NFC stuff is really limited unless you want to put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is what it is, but the gesture thing is really pretty cool.
It is. So looks like you can, in order to get a ring, you can back it for as little as $165 on the Kickstarter page, which we've linked to in the article and in the show notes for tonight's show. So if you want to check that out, it'll be available in the U.S., Europe, Japan, and China. It could be shipping, as early as July, which may get pushed back. We've seen that happen with some Kickstarter projects before, but I like that it has a couple of LEDs so that you can see kind of what's going on, but it's not a full screen that you have to, because there's really not a whole lot of information you can get even on like a small e-ink screen on a ring.
Yep.
It's a cool implementation.
Yeah, it's just a unique thing.
Yeah. And I'm all about this stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
Wristband,
I love it.
rings, watches, like watching this stuff develop. Nothing is really to the point where I want to sink a whole bunch of money into a bunch of wearables at this point, but this kind of functionality is really exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
Even some of the basic NFC stuff is pretty exciting, but seeing more being built into it is even better. So Something else that's exciting, and really kind of a little crazy. These rumors about the OPPO Find 7. This thing is basically going to be
A monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple's been teasing it
is
for so long. It better perform up to par, or they're gonna get a lot of backlash.
Right. Right.
yeah, they've built some really quality hardware though, so I don't know if anybody's gonna pull this off, it's gonna be them, if you ask me.
Yeah, they're saying what, a 2K and a 1080p variant,
So they're releasing
kind of like what Samsung's supposed to be doing with the S5.
Yep. So there's going to be the 1080p model is going to be powered by a Snapdragon 800 SoC, clocked at 2.3 gigahertz. The 2K version will have a Snapdragon 801, clocked at 2.5 gigahertz.
Not much difference between the two, really.
No, there's really not. I mean, some of the camera functionality in the 801.
Yeah, I think the 801 does like 4K better or something.
Yeah, but
It depends on which version of the 800 it is.
Oh yeah, there's like two versions. I think there's one at 2.3 and one at 2.5.
Yes, yeah, you got two versions of the 800, which between the two there's a fairly significant difference. I think the GPU is like 30% higher clocked, which is going to give you a lot more video performance. I think it goes, and then you have, of course, the processor itself is a little bit faster. There's a few other things as well, but yeah, the 801 is more of, you got that hardware HDR. You have, I don't know if it's better 4K recording or what, because the 800 does 4K recording as well. That was one of the big features of it.
I think it handles it better, because I know the Note 3 can do, was it 5 minutes of 4K?
Yeah, but that's a space thing. You can, if you have room, you can take it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably because of all the bloat.
So,
but now, speaking of the camera, they're talking about a 50 megapixel shooter on there,
which is absolutely crazy.
We thought Nokia was crazy with what their 41.
41, yeah.
Yep.
And then they're like, you can't use all the megapixels at the same time. But somehow Apple's using all 50 because the resolution was like crazy high.
It was 8,000 by something. I don't even remember. It's absurd. Who the heck knows what 50 megapixel even is, right?
Yes, 8160 by 6120.
Yeah, it's nuts. Now, what I want to know is, are they going to do what Nokia did and put a good size sensor in that thing? Because that was really what makes the Lumia 1020 as good as it is it has the sensor the size of, a proper camera in there.
Right.
It's not like a little cheapy smartphone sensor like they're in most of these things.
Like the whole back of the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what the thing looks like.
Well, the N1 had a decent camera in it, but it was 13 megapixel, but it had that weird like rotating deal across the top.
Yep.
So you could actually take decent selfies if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But that phone was just so huge. Big bezels, big screen.
They should have used that one for the Oscars, right?
Yeah. The bezels on it were way too big. But yeah, if it's got a big sensor on it, it's going to have a big lump on the back. If it doesn't have a big sensor on it, what's the point of putting 50 megapixels in it?
Yeah, and honestly, if you've ever seen a Lumia 1020, it's not that big. I mean,
no, that's true.
It just seems like it.
It's not flat compared to the rest of the smartphones that we're used to.
Not even a flat phone. Give me a nice camera.
I agree, man. I agree with you on that one.
I've never understood the draw of a paper thin phone. I just don't get it. I mean, it's nice, I guess, but
I'd rather have a bigger, better camera and a bigger, better battery.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know for a long time there, especially HTC was really guilty of this in like 2011, where they try to make these ultra thin phones and then put like a little 1800 milliamp battery in there. It's like, stop it. Just put a giant battery in there. Nobody cares how thin your phone is.
And then you have to charge it like 4 times a day if you actually use your phone.
Exactly. Do it, Oppo. Make it good.
Yep. And I honestly, man, I prefer like my Nexus 4, the Galaxy S4. I put a case on them. Like they're too thin as they are. I prefer them with a case, just give it a little more grip. So I'm not worried about it being super thin either.
I think I heard the battery for the Find 7 is supposed to be like around 3,500 to 4,000.
Beautiful.
So
well, you're gonna need it with that sensor
and that screen.
Yeah, yeah, the screen too.
I
Sure.
think the screen is supposed to be what 5.5 inch, I think, or 5.7.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's smaller than the N1, but I don't remember exactly how big it's supposed to be.
Yeah, the N1's 5.9, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's bigger than the One Max, and the One Max has those front-facing speakers, which I'd rather have.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be announcing the Find 7 later on this month. So
The 19th. It's about
the
2
date?
more weeks.
okay, cool.
Beautiful.
Good. So we'll know more about that soon. But
And then the week after that, we got HTC.
yes, so let's talk a little bit about HTC. This HTC One M8, or the all-new HTC One, whatever they're calling it.
I don't know which is worse, the name or the leak.
I like the Mate. That was better.
Yeah.
This leak is ridiculous, man.
The
So
leak is absurd.
yeah, it's a really bad, like it's just a really bad review of the device. Some kid got a hold of the phone. Not really sure if he's. I say some kid. I don't actually know how old he is, but he sounds like he's.
Sounds like from all the drama I saw on Twitter between him and some of the higher ups with HTC, it sounds like his parents worked for HTC. Doesn't sound like they work for him now.
Nope.
He basically got a hold of their like test device, before they announced it, and what he was saying is that he reviewed did the video, left on his computer because he was going to post it, the day of the announcement, and somebody posted on his YouTube. I don't know if that part is true, but
Yeah, whatever. He put it on his YouTube channel.
yeah.
He's trying to make excuses now to CYA,
But
Yeah.
it does sound like his parents either work for HTC or one of the carrier partners, because they got to test this stuff before they announce it.
Right.
Like when they test it, it's in like this big case, so you can't see what it looks like or anything. So I was surprised to see it out in the open like that, but it looked really nice.
It does.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the camera in there?
Yep.
That OIS was really crazy good.
Yep.
Like, I mean, he's moving it all around like this, and there was like no blurry anything in there.
Yep.
So I wonder if that second camera helps with OIS somehow.
Yeah, I'm
It could.
really looking forward to the official announcement to see what kind of usage scenarios they say for that dual camera. Because I know they're not going 3D again.
Right. Even if it's
Well, we
just
hope not.
with image stabilization and it makes that a ton better, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you look at it, the top camera up here is like the lens is smaller than the one down here, so it looks like they're still going with ultra pixel for the lower one, and then just like the standard camera for the upper one. But what was interesting was on the left side, there's a micro SD card slot, but it's like it's
Yep.
spring loaded, which is, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but it's nice to see it there.
There's some international versions of the HTC One that had micro SD card slots under the back, but it wasn't spring loaded like that. So
Yeah, I think
The,
the Chinese one, the back actually came off, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's some
The
dual
One
SIM
Max,
versions
the
too.
back came off too. There was like a switch on the side that popped off the back, but only popped off like the center portion, and you
Yeah.
get to the micro SD card slot from there.
Yep. And the kid did say, Frankie put this up in the notes here in the question and answer. The kid did say that it was an official device.
He said that, and then later on Twitter, he said that it was a fake and it was made to look like it from the renders.
He's trying to backtrack so he doesn't get in trouble.
Yes.
So the issue that one, I don't know how much his YouTube channel identified him, but we got a couple of pretty clear glimpses of the serial numbers, the little sticker on the back of the test device. So he had an HTC One.
Yeah, IMEI, serial number.
He had an
all
HTC,
that
the original
stuff.
HTC One, and then he had the new one. So we see the serial numbers on the back of the test device of the HTC One and of the all-new one. So
And then
those
he
right there are
like,
enough to
the camera goes
identify
up.
whoever. Every time they would flash on the screen, he would go, "Oh, sorry," and put his finger over it, put his thumb over it. Oh, we can't see those. But it was too late. Like, you could already see them.
Yeah, there's this thing called pause.
Right. Or edit the video. So you can see it.
And when he was in the camera app, he was showing off the dual capture, so you could see him on the video.
Yeah. Yep. So not even like just a reflection of his face in the device. You could straight see his face
behind the camera.
Yep. So now we know who you are, and we know where you live, and we know that your parents don't work for HTC anymore.
Yeah, this all happened Sunday night, and the drama from it was actually pretty funny. It's pretty exciting.
Fantastic to watch.
I was just watching. I was just watching what you were reposting, Alex. It was great. I was like, I don't even need to look anywhere else. I'm just going to sit here and keep refreshing Google Plus. Watch what you keep posting.
Because I kept seeing all these jokes of people like, throwing popcorn in their mouth. Like, this is me watching this drama. Like, you're not the only one.
So the video was pulled from his YouTube channel. Somebody else uploaded it pretty quickly.
And sent it to, like, everybody else.
Yeah, so if you missed it, go check it out. It's there. On the site, we've got a link to the video in the post on Android Headlines. So it is fantastic. The video's kind of tough to watch because the dude's just annoying with it. But the fallout was great, and it was really, honestly, it was great to see the device on screen, to get a confirmation of those dual cameras.
Press shots really don't do the color of the device justice, because it looks way better in that. I think it was the silver version. It looks way better in that video.
Yep. The bezels are smaller. I was really excited to see on-screen navigation buttons, so they don't have the hardware, the capacitive buttons with that weird HTC configuration.
Yeah.
They're legit Android software buttons now.
Yeah, but they still have the HTC bar at the bottom, which is kind of annoying because they made the screen bigger, but then they left that there, so it's really the same size.
Right. But navigating is, it's going to be familiar if you're used to.
Yeah, because if you root it, you can use soft and change it however you want.
Yeah.
Well, and remember, it's KitKat, so we get immersive mode. So really, the screen is bigger, especially when you're in quite a few apps at this point.
Yeah, and that'll continue to improve. So.
Yep.
It's a really great looking device. I'm just sorry that this kid made a stupid decision and board things for his parents.
If it was like a prank by HTC, to get people to wait on the S5, even though their event is before the S5 comes out.
That's entirely possible.
Dude, it is.
I mean, I don't know, because then HTC would have came down on that guy or that kid so hard.
Well,
do we know for a fact though
theatrics.
Like we're not on the inside.
Yeah, we're not, but because he deleted all his tweets, the guy from HTC, Jeff Gordon, all his tweets to the kid he deleted.
Yeah, that stuff could be
staged.
Yeah, very easily, the whole way through. It might just be a marketing stunt.
I mean, we've seen HTC do crazy stuff before. They were handing out HTC ones to the press at the S4 event last year.
Yep, I remember that. That was good. You know what? And kudos to them if it is a stunt, because it was brilliant. And if
I just like somebody that actually knew what they were talking about, because he said it had Beats Audio, then he said it didn't, then he said it did.
Yeah.
It's okay. It doesn't really matter. Now everybody's talking about it. That's the point. And it's not like we know anything official about it anyway. So if anything, it's it's just more fun for the rumor mill.
Well, we know the name.
Oh yeah, we got that. That's about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it could just be a dumb kid on the internet. But even if that's all it is, man, HTC needs to gobble this up and ride it out.
For sure.
So we've got, let's see, what else we got tonight? So the name, we just mentioned that. HTC confirmed the name of, it's going to be the all-new HTC One, which is just confusing because you're going to have people go into a store and say, I want the new one. And the rep's going to go, the new one what?
Yeah, because I think they should still sell the last year's HTC One, sell it lower price, maybe like $49 on contract. So they're side by side with that one, like Samsung does with the. Are they still selling the S3? I know they're supposed to be selling the S4 when.
The last I saw, the S3 was still free on most carriers that do the subsidies.
Yeah. So I think that's what they should do because then they'll have two good phones out there, and they're not really saturating the market, although they are with their low-end stuff because they just announced another Desire today. But I don't think it's coming here because it's dual SIM.
Yeah. Well, Frankie asked, so what do you believe the next HTC One will be named? This one that's getting ready to be announced on March 25th is going to be called the all-new HTC One. 4 words, capitalized, all-new HTC One.
You forgot the.
Oh, right. Well, so it's just confusing.
We'll probably just call it the HTC One 2014.
Right, exactly.
Like
Yeah,
even
see,
the Nexus 7.
that's what I thought they were going to do, and I think Google's going to do that with the Nexus 5 as well. They're probably not going to change the name, when they release it this year. As far as next year's HTC One, God only knows. Because I really thought they were just going to stick with HTC One and just, 2013, 2014, whatever. But
everybody thought it was
now
gonna
they've
be
ruined that.
Everybody thought it was going to be the HTC One 2.
Yeah.
Which sounds funny, but I think it's still better than what they are calling it.
I don't know. I mean, this is just really bland. It just sounds like a marketing thing rather than an actual name.
And they should have kept with the one from, what was it, 2012 with the 1X, 1S, 1B, like Samsung has the Galaxy S, then the Galaxy everything else. But just one what?
Yeah.
One
That
Mini
was
Max.
that was a nice year because they just had those 3 main ones and they were basically the same, very similar hardware, different sizes.
The 1S was amazing.
Yeah, the 1S was
But
incredible.
That
That was
screen.
a great phone.
Put that screen. They needed the 1X screen.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yep. Confuse people in the store.
Absolutely.
What phone they're going to buy.
Samsung does it all the time.
Yep, absolutely.
yeah. Galaxy.
I got the Galaxy phone. Well, which one? Now there's like 85 of them.
792 of them.
Yep.
Especially if they come out with the Galaxy S5 Prime.
I don't. Yeah.
That'll be part of the Transformers tie-in for the new movie coming out.
I wouldn't doubt it, actually.
I wouldn't either. I can
They
imagine
bought-
Optimus with a big old Samsung across his forehead.
Well, they got
Got
the.
like a curved OLED on his face.
They bought the Oscars. They bought the Olympics.
And the tie-in at the Oscars worked out really well for him, man. Like, that was very well played. A lot of people talking about that.
Yep.
Even still, and it's like 2 days later.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep. Because it started off as a lot of talk of like, okay, so back up just a minute. If you missed it, at the Oscars were last night, sponsored by Samsung, 2 nights ago, Sunday night. But it was sponsored by Samsung. I think they spent like $10 million for the sponsorship. Ellen DeGeneres hosted, and she was walking around with a Galaxy Note 3, a white one. And she's like taking pictures, and the whole time she's like, you can tell she's tweeting on it. She's like just walking around taking selfies with people, and at one point she pulls in like 10 or 12 different celebrities, Jared Leto, Angelina Jolie, and Brad Pitt. There was a bunch of people, Bradley Cooper, and took this big selfie, posted it on Twitter, and said, let's see if we can get the most retweets ever. And the thing got like almost 3 million retweets by now. All publicity for Samsung, but they didn't actually put like a Samsung logo on it. They didn't watermark it at all. They didn't come out and say this is from Samsung. It was just her walking around with a Note 3. And it worked really well because it kind of felt organic, like she's just being goofy Ellen, and with a Note 3 in her hand doing stuff. And so the first 24 hours, it was all about the picture and the marketing, and now we're kind of getting into how brilliant was this of Samsung, and everybody's talking about Samsung. And then HTC may have leaked the M8 on there, so kind of counteract some of that, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Actually, now that makes me think that it was real. That video, because everybody's talking about Samsung, and then HTC pops out.
The timing is impeccable, if
Yeah.
nothing. And I mean, he even said he recorded
We'll
it
play
on
HTC.
February 19th, is what the video said.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't
And it's
know.
just been sitting there. So he might have recorded on the 19th and then just been sitting on it, waiting for the okay from
Waiting
HTC.
for something, exactly.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe
Well
this
played,
kid.
HTC. Well played.
Yeah.
I love conspiracy theories.
Yep, it's a good one. It's definitely a good one, and it's brilliant marketing. So, but let's move on here a little bit. Speaking of Samsung, they announced the Chromebook 2 yesterday, and it actually looks pretty nice. 11.6 inch and 13.3 inch variants, running Chrome OS. The 11.6 inch versions only got a 1366 by 768 display, but the 13.3 inch version is 1080p. Both running Exynos 5 octa-core chips.
Yeah, the
4 gigs of
13-inch
RAM.
one is a little bit faster. It's like 2.1 versus 1.9 gigahertz.
Yeah.
It has a faux leather back, which when I first saw the leaks, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But after I saw the press images from Samsung yesterday, it actually looks nice. I get it, but I don't like the Exynos 5 Octa in a Chromebook because I had the original Samsung Chromebook and it was terrible. If you have more than one tab open, it lagged so bad because it wasn't optimized for ARM. So hopefully they've worked on that, Google and Samsung.
The big news on this has been that faux leather back. So it's the same kind of backing as the Note 3, which I agree with you, Alex. When I first heard, same thing with the Note 3. When I first heard about it, I was like, yeah, whatever. That's gonna feel cheap. Actually, get your hands on one, and it's pretty nice.
On the Note 3, the black one, or are they calling it some other color? That one feels better than the white one. The white one feels kind of, I don't know, it feels like hard plastic, really. And the black one, I think it feels softer, doesn't it, Nick?
Yes, it's a different texture.
Yeah.
Yep.
The black one actually feels like proper pleather.
Yeah, because I had the white one for review and I didn't like it.
Yeah, I remember I went to Best Buy right after I got mine, and I was like, oh, what the heck? Because you were saying that about it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. So I went there to check it out, and yeah, you're right. It's different. I don't know what they do, but it's something else. I think it's because I remember somebody commented on my review for it saying that they thought maybe the white one would attract oils and stuff more.
Yeah,
So they probably made it a little less, I don't know, whatever this is. It's not sticky because that makes it sound gross. But whatever this texture is, they made it more plasticky so that it would try to avoid that stuff, I think.
It's probably going to be the same way on the Chromebook 2 when that launches next month. So I'd probably recommend getting the black or gray, whatever color they call it.
Yeah, you're probably not going to be holding the thing as much, though, as you would a phone.
Yeah, but you still don't want to have, oil and stuff on it. You don't want to lose the color.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
But
The black one looks best anyway.
It does, absolutely.
I was happy to see them go 1080p, though, on the 13-inch one. I was also happy to see a 13-inch one, because for me, I think that's the perfect size for, like, a laptop. Right now I have a 15-inch one. I think it's a little bit too big, and 11 is a little too small for me.
Yep.
But the only thing keeping me away from buying one is the Exynos 5 Octa, just because I had bad experience with the last Samsung Chromebook.
And they're going to be priced at what, around $320?
The 11.6 is $320, and the 13 is $400. And next month, so everything's next month basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Like, stuff's coming out in April, and then beginning of May, so that it's available for sale. End of May, beginning of June is a big sales time when kids are getting out of school and
graduation gifts.
Yep. Exactly.
You guys think that's too much? I mean, I think the draw of a Chromebook really is the price, and that $400 you can go out and buy a pretty friggin' good Windows laptop, and it does way more than a Chromebook.
I was just thinking the exact same thing.
I don't really see much of a draw for this thing, other than it looks nice, and I'm sure the battery life's killer.
I mean, for me, I'd still get the HTC 720, the 4 gigs of RAM version, because of Haswell. I mean, Samsung says 8.5 hours of battery life on these Chromebook 2s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was getting like 10 hours on the Haswell powered C720, which was only supposed to get like 8.5.
That's pretty incredible for a laptop. Laptops usually get, 4?
Yeah,
if
it
that?
performed really well. Like, I had it plugged into my monitor and didn't even use it really. I just used my monitor on it, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, if you're in the market for a Chromebook, I would go that route. Now, those are priced at what, Alex?
There's 3 models. There's the 2 gigs of RAM that's $199, then 4 at $249. Then they have a touchscreen one that has 2 gigs of RAM for $299.
Right, so you can get 4 gigs of RAM for the non-touchscreen one for $249.
Yep.
Yeah, see, that's
that
better.
I can justify.
There's actually more. They have a lot of them at varying price points between $199 and $299. Because like one has a bigger SSD, but still 2 gigs of RAM. You know, just small stuff like that, so you can basically pick and choose what you want. But they're all within $100 price range.
Yeah, upgraded internals and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
But still, at $399, I can walk into Best Buy or H.H. Gregg or somewhere, and for $399 or $419, pick up a Windows 8 touchscreen.
I would much rather have a Windows 8.1 laptop. Sorry, guys.
And
my HP
I'm just gonna wipe it and install Linux, Ubuntu or something on it, but it's gonna perform a lot better. The hardware is a lot better for the price.
The HP laptop I got last year, I think it was like $500. It's got 8 gigs of RAM. i7 Haswell, 1080p display. It's got everything that a whole lot more than what the Chromebook 2 has.
Yeah.
Plus, it has Windows instead of just Chrome OS.
Yeah.
Which again, for $250, I can justify because most of what I do is in the browser, anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah, me too.
But if I'm going to spend $400, it's not going to be on a Chromebook.
No.
Sorry, Samsung.
It's going to be on the Galaxy Note Pro. Or actually, that's like $750. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I'd still buy a tablet.
Until it goes to Verizon, then it'll be like $400 on a 3-year contract or 2-year contract.
Right. So we've seen the Note 3 get KitKat, and the S4. Those are starting to roll out here and there. KitKat is now leaking for the LG Optimus G Pro on AT&T, so that update's coming soon. And it may also add 4K video support, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that phone was capable of it.
That was when I first saw the headline. I said, "What? No way!" I had to click it.
I know it was a 13 megapixel camera. I think it was one of the first with a 13.
Is that the? Are you guys talking about the G Pro or the G Flex? Because I thought it was the G Flex that was getting the 4K video.
Both.
Both now, yeah.
Both? Because the G Pro only has a Snapdragon 600 that's not supposed to be capable of 4K.
I don't know, man. That's what the rumor was saying. We haven't confirmed it.
That's what the leak from XDA was saying.
Yep.
So blame them.
I called garbage on half of it.
Yeah. Well, and that's you're right.
The G Flex will get 4K. I don't think the G Pro will. Don't expect that.
Well, the G2 didn't get 4K on their on the KitKat update, but there is a mod out there. Yeah, there's a mod out there to do it. Because I wrote up about that mod. I was like, whoa, 4K, and then
it's stupid that they wouldn't enable that. It's the exact same hardware as a Note 3. There's no reason. It's like the Nexus 5. That's the exact same thing. There's no reason you shouldn't do it.
And you can do 720p at 120 frames per second.
Yep.
So it's crazy smooth.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because it's really smooth.
Because I'm waiting to my G2 and flash that mod. Because there's all kinds of goodies in there.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice stuff.
I'm not super excited about 4K at this point, just because it's going to be a while before I have a 4K TV. But
yeah,
it was kind of cool to see that might be coming.
And I'm actually surprised because that was one of the things I was most excited about with the Note, especially now that I have a kid. I'm thinking, oh yeah, this would be great 4K videos. I'll be able to watch this stuff forever. It'll be awesome. But I've actually gone back to just using 1080p because one, I get video stabilization on 1080p and not in 4K, and this is kind of a silly reason, but Google Plus doesn't support 4K video, so I don't get any auto awesomes or anything when I make those.
Oh yeah,
and I like that stuff.
Dude, those are great. Those videos, the auto awesome videos, are fantastic.
They are. Plus the 4K. God, the 4K video takes up so much room.
Oh, I bet.
It's ridiculous.
I was excited to see how much room like a 5-minute video would take up, and I was like, whoa! It took forever to upload to YouTube.
I think a minute and a half is like a gig. It's obnoxious. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's craziness. I mean, it's cool to do, but it's just so impractical right now.
Yeah.
I think we got a couple more years before 4K is really like even an option.
Well, sure. I mean, we have some cheaper
I mean, the
4K TVs, but they're
TVs,
garbage.
yeah, the TVs are what, like at least $1,000. I think there's one for 800, but I don't know.
Yeah, and those are the garbage ones. If you want
Yeah.
a decent one, you're gonna spend like $4,000.
Because the
Yeah.
one that KBHD bought, I think it was like close to $4,000 because he did a 4K video this week.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
it's getting pushed, and I'm glad, but it's gonna be a while before most people can do anything with it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. The LG G2 on T-Mobile is getting KitKat also.
Yeah, it actually was out like last week, but T-Mobile wasn't pushing it out. If you
Yeah.
use the PC suite, you could get it because that's how I got it. I've been using it on mine for about a week now. It's pretty good update, but there's like a Bluetooth weight lock, I guess, or maybe it's just
Ooh.
recording it differently. Because without it on, it still uses like 6%. Let's open it real quick.
I haven't heard my dad complain. He's got
It's
the
using, like,
AT&T
6%.
G2.
It's not using a lot. See, it was awake for 2.5 hours out of 12 hours. So it's not bad. Like, I'm still getting the same battery life I was on 4.2. Was there. So it's annoying.
Yeah, it could just be a reporting thing if that's the case.
Yeah. But what I'm happy about is the icons. They changed it to the KitKat white from that
Yes.
inky blue that I hated. That was the
Nice.
only thing that kept me from buying the G2 at launch. But I still got it anyway.
Yep. Oh, Frankie's confirming for us. Or Frank is, I'm sorry. The G Flex and the G2 are getting 4K video with KitKat, but the G Pro is not. So, appreciate that, Frank. What else? Last couple things here. Google released their goo.gl link shortener as an app. So if you got links that you need to shorten, from your device, if you're sharing them on Twitter or Facebook, you want to shorten the links just to keep them clean. You can download the goo.gl link shortener from the Play Store now. It's pretty cool. And the Xperia Z2 firmware got dumped. If you're a developer, you can go download that, play with it. We should be seeing ROMs or maybe some of those apps or features being cooked into other ROMs in short order.
Yep. Maybe we'll even see 4K video on the Z1 now because of it.
Could be, yeah.
Maybe you'll see the Z2 in the US pretty soon.
That'd be cool too.
Yep.
I'm more excited for that.
Yes.
Yeah, Z2 is
Absolutely.
pretty sick.
Yeah. That's
I've got an
They fixed the display with those viewing angles.
Yes, yeah. I've got an iPhone buddy that's looking to switch when the Z2 hits. So, go Sony, go! Get him off of that.
Yeah, no joke. That phone looks amazing. Definitely my favorite thing coming out of WC this year.
Hopefully multiple carriers too.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be better this time.
I don't think they've ever done more than one because it used to be always AT&T and like in the last year it's always been T-Mobile.
Yeah.
And hopefully that'll drive the price down too if we can get it on multiple carriers. So.
Yeah, the price is normally high until it's announced for like T-Mobile or AT&T, then it drops to like the normal price of $550.
Yeah.
Off contract.
Yeah, I think the Z1S was $550 brand new, wasn't it? On T-Mobile.
Yeah, before that it was like $700.
That's pretty good for a brand new flagship phone.
Yeah, that's about what the S4 was when it launched. I think the Note 3 is like around $650 a month or off contract.
Note 3 was $700.
Yeah, it's around that.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Yeah, dude,
That's painful.
sometimes you got to do it though.
Samsung was doing
That's what Craigslist is for. Always sell the previous year's phone.
Yep. So let's wrap up here. What's kind of new in your Android world? Alex, we'll start off with you. What you got, man?
Well, I got the Moto G from AIO, I guess that's how you say the carrier. AIO, AT&T's MVNO.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it for like a day, but I'm really impressed with the battery life. Is that sitting at a day and 6 hours? I don't know if it'll focus. Like 69% left. I've been using it heavily though, like checking every once in a while. About an hour and a half screen time, so it's not heavily used, but it's really good on battery. Build quality feels good, especially compared to like some of those other cheap phones, like the new phones I reviewed recently.
Yeah.
I think that's it. But I got that review coming out this week, and probably a comparison with the Moto X and those blue phones too.
Good deal, man. They, yeah, I was excited when you finally got your hands on that. So the hour and a half screen time, that's 69%. You basically can get, that's a third, roughly. So
yeah,
you'd be sitting on 4 hours of screen time, 4.5 hours of screen time.
I've seen some people get like 7-8 hours on screen on the Moto G.
Yeah, I'm sure if you use it for a straight day, you've got a day and a half at that.
Right.
You're still at that percentage. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's running on AT&T basically, and I got really good signal with them. It's like full bars, and then I'm also on Wi-Fi because it only does HSP plus, and AT&T's HSP plus isn't really that good, especially when you're using T-Mobile all the time because it's 42 versus I think 21, or maybe they're 14.4. So it's pretty slow.
But still, it's impressive that that we're still talking about the Moto G as a $200 device.
Well, Motorola did say last week that it's their best smartphone launch of all time.
Yeah.
Which is insane, but it's also one of the only phones that's been outside of Verizon or AT&T or Sprint.
Yeah, it's not really a good comparison, but
yeah,
it's still pretty cool.
But it's good for them.
Nick, what about you, man? What's new?
On the phone, probably not that much. Been messing more with the gear though. I finally put. I ended up going with Apex Launcher. For whatever reason, Nova Launcher does the margins weird, and the clock faces just show up strange. But I ended up doing like I got Super Widget going and like live wallpaper and all the the crap that I like. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think I need to turn the gesture stuff off though, because my battery's getting pretty destroyed with that on.
Is it?
Yeah, I get like a half a day if I put the gesture stuff on if I'm using it pretty heavily, which I don't really want that. I don't know. I still have to mess around with it more because I only just did that earlier today.
Did you put any camera apps on there?
No, I have not done that yet.
That's what I'm waiting for.
I should do that next. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be taking like nice HDR photos from here.
I was actually surprised at how good the camera was on the gear.
I am actually really surprised too. And it focuses really, really quickly, and it changes the oh god, my brain just died. The light situations, whatever the heck that word is, it escapes me.
White balance.
It goes from light to dark really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Because I know some phones will struggle with that. Like they'll sit there and they'll like curve for a second until they figure it out, and this thing's just done.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it can only record like 15 seconds at a time too, which is more than I expected. I didn't think we would record at all. With the amount of space.
I've only taken a few pictures. I don't know. I can't see myself using the camera very often. I haven't really found an actual usage scenario for it.
Yeah, it was hard for me to use it when I was trying to review it. I had to go out and actually take pictures.
Well, good stuff, man. It's fun to see you kind of hack that and play with it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's 60 seconds now, so maybe that last update.
Maybe it was 60.
To it. I don't know.
I don't
Who
remember
knows?
how much it was. I was just pulling a number out of my hat.
Yeah, I'm just trying it now just because you said something. I'm like, yeah, I forgot. I actually didn't even think about using that.
I know it's really short. I know it's shorter than 4K on the Note 3.
Yeah. Definitely shorter.
Cool, man. I got a bunch of accessories to review. I got like 2 boxes of stuff on last Thursday. So I got this new Noise Hush headset, which that review is already up, and they're surprisingly decent.
Is that like wood on the side of it?
Yes, it's kind of a nice added touch.
The Griffin wood tones that I had and kind of broke. There was like the whole thing was wood, and then the connector here was wood. It was real wood. it was like really comfortable too.
Yeah, they're nice, and that's just kind of an accent. It's not all the way through, but
Yeah.
but yeah, the sound quality is good. The low end is solid. They're not. It's not a really high end headset. I think Hypercell sells them for $100. You can find them on Amazon for about 55 or 60.
Are they
So,
comfortable?
Yeah, they're comfortable. I mean, I've been wearing them this whole time, and they're fine. And I don't think I've worn them for more than like 2 hours straight, but I haven't had any issues with that. So they're not going to compete with a $500 or $800 headset. There are some things that I would like to see. Just things like being able to replace this wire if it ever goes out. Some headsets, you can jack a new wire in, or they're easily replaceable. The issue with those is sometimes that jack can get loose. But for $60, $70, $100, it's a solid headset. I've also got Naztec speaker, which I think that review went up already, didn't it, Alex?
Yeah, I think Justin published it a little while ago.
Okay, I think that went tonight. So this is a great little speaker. I've reviewed a couple in the past, and so far this is my favorite. The sound is good. It's got a built-in battery, so that was kind of a cool added feature, having that extra 2,500 milliamp hour battery built in that you can charge anything off a USB from the speaker. The battery life on this thing is, I've only charged it once this last Thursday. I've used it almost every day. So the battery on this thing it's rated for 18 hours of music, and I'll probably get 18 to 20 out of it. It's wild.
I haven't had anything like that. Because like the mini or the UE Boom does like 15, and then the Braven 710 does like 12. And this one has a built-in battery too, so you can charge.
Yep.
Which I'm seeing that in a lot more Bluetooth speakers, and I like it.
Yeah, this one that I review is the same thing. It's got the little micro USB port there, and you just plug whatever into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's nice.
So with this Naztec speaker, I wish that the buttons on the side, there's buttons that'll control, like you can use it for speakerphone to answer calls and hang up, and then these two buttons, if you're listening to music, it skips the track. If you're on a phone call, it changes the volume. I would much prefer, if you're listening, to have these control the volume for music. If I want to change the volume, I got to pick up my phone. But not a big deal, but I'd like to see that changed. But overall, it's a great speaker. And then AData sent me a little battery pack that's got a built-in SD card reader. That
Nice.
you can access this over Wi-Fi, which is kind of cool. You can use this for file transfers via Wi-Fi, as well as access that SD card over Wi-Fi just for like files transfers and stuff, which is kind of cool. And then another wireless charger. So I bought a VAS wireless charger. I think that's how it's pronounced, VAAS. I found a deal on one for like $20 and bought that, and it's been great. Charges. I don't have to take the case off my Nexus to charge it. It works great. The VAS one is kind of cool too because it's got a light around the outside. So like on the edge here, when you lay your phone on it, it lights up so you can see when it's charging.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, it's really easy to see. This AData one, honestly, I'm not too excited about it. It won't get a solid connection if I have the case on my Nexus 4. I have to take the case off. Even when I take the case off, I don't know if I'm just not lining the coils up correctly or what, but it charges super slowly. Like, I left it on for 6 hours one night while I was sleeping, and it charged 3%. So I don't know if that's something that I'm doing wrong. I got to look into it a little bit more to make sure it's not me before I have this review finalized.
It's got to be some connection thing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It is kind of a cool feature that it stands up. You can pop it out here and then flip this over and slide it in so that it's a stand. So
Yeah,
my
it's
phone
like
can,
the tilt view that I have somewhere.
That's really nice.
yeah, it's a really cool, especially for like on the nightstand with, I use Dash Clock as my
Yes.
daydream, so I can see the big clock. You can see notifications and stuff. Micro USBs on the side there, but it just won't stinking charge fast enough, and I have to take the case off. So we'll see. The reviews for these two will be up at some point this week. So just new accessories, fun stuff to play with. I don't think there's any other apps or anything that I found that really caught my attention this week. I did switch from Falcon Pro to Robird because the Falcon Pro development has kind of been stagnant, and it's a little bit, taking a little bit of getting used to just switching to a new Twitter client. But I'm enjoying Robird. It's got most of the features from Falcon Pro that I like.
Nice.
And Falcon Pro was just getting a little bit buggy. So, but that's it. So, and I think, unless you guys have anything else, that's going to wrap up the show for this week.
There's I think two other things that I wanted to mention. We got the Humble Bundle that popped up because I always love those. So we got the Mobile Bundle 4 that's up live now, and of course, same deal with that is like 6 games. You pay like $5 or whatever, or less if you want to be cheap, or more if you want to be generous. And then of course, I think in the next day, Google Play is doing their 2-year anniversary special.
Yeah, it's supposed to be tomorrow.
Yeah, the page is still not live for the U.S. Other countries have had it live for a while now, so I think, yeah, you're right. I think it just depends on what day you're in at this point.
Have you seen anything about the deals that they're running for that?
No.
Because I remember last year there was a whole bunch of apps and games and stuff for like a quarter.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of apps and games that are on sale, but Android guys did it, and because I guess it was available in Australia, so it's in their currency. So
yeah.
it looked like it was like $1 or something in Australia. I don't know what that converts to over here.
Yeah, so the only reason I didn't want to do that is because you don't know what they're going to run in other countries. They may not run the same deals.
Yeah.
They may be different prices. I mean, I don't know how much good looking is going to do other than maybe giving you an idea. But yeah, I remember in the past before they've done like quarter apps and stuff, which are sweet.
Yep.
They even
Yeah,
did 10-cent apps one time. Yeah.
That's
bought
when
a
I
bunch
bought
then.
Nova Launcher Prime. I bought
Yes.
it for 10 cents.
I think I did too.
Yep.
There's one other thing I wanted to mention before we go out. There's a new rumor out that the Nexus 6 is supposed to be a lightweight version of the G3. And that one's supposed to be pretty beastly.
Well, the Nexus 5 was kind of a lightweight version of the G2, so.
Yeah, but it's going to be surprising to see LG do 3 Nexuses in a row.
Yep. Well, they've done pretty darn good so far, I would say. 4 and 5 have been really, really impressive phones. I expect
this might be the last Nexus phone. We don't really know, but that's what the rumors have been saying. That's Google Play.
Yeah, this will be the last Nexus device. They're going to be Google Play editions, and with Motorola being sold to Lenovo, Google kind of getting out of the hardware phone game.
Yeah, they're still in the hardware with I can't even think of the name of the company now.
Nest.
They just bought. Yeah, them.
Yeah,
I think
they're still making tablets. We haven't, but we still haven't seen a Nexus 10. I called that last November when they said, we didn't see it, and I said, no, and we're probably not going to get one.
Yeah.
And we still haven't.
But I'm really tempted to get a G-Pad because the displays LG uses are so good.
Yeah,
They
they're
are
Better
phenomenal.
than the Nexus 5 display.
They really are.